Hello and welcome to part 2 of the friction drive drill press rebuild. Right now we're working on the puck drive, friction drive, whatever you want to call it. It's got like a tire that runs on this. We got the spindle done. Let me show you what we got here. This is the drive puck, I call it. It's drive wheel, friction drive. It's got a rubber surface on it. It's off a snapper lawnmower. And I'm making this right here. I'm going to weld that right in there. And I'm going to turn it down so that this fits over that and bolts to this. Both of them got to be turned down. But the reason for this extension right here is it's going to look like that's the rubber wheel. It's going to have like a yoke and cam followers are right in there to move that wheel back and forth when I'm while the drill press is running. In other words, this wheel will ride on this axle right here and move this way, and it will change the ratio between this and the disc and change the speed. So the next step is to weld these two pieces together, and then I'll turn it down on the lathe. Hopefully that'll go okay. Okay, I've got this bored to about 7/8 of an inch with a drill, and I'm going to open that up to 1 inch exactly and then cut a keyway in it. I should say something about this chuck setup I got here. Really, this chuck, these jaws are not fully engaged in the chuck. It's probably better to use a larger chuck. I didn't want to go through the hassle of putting the 4-jaw on it, so I'm going to take a chance. It's really better to have more engagement with the jaws. But it's held good so far. I'm going to take a chance on it. Yep, 75 thousandths. So half of 75, 37.5 thousandths. Okay, I bought a broaching kit, and the first time I used it was on a steel pulley about this deep, and I broke the 3/16 broach. I'm going to broach this to 1/4 inch, but I'm a little afraid of breaking another broach. So I was going to mill out a small section, 3/16 to waste away most of that steel before I tried sticking a broach through it. You have to think about this. I don't want to break my broach. Okay, the bushing is almost 2 inches long, so I was just remembering wrong. That's a good thing. Oh boy. What's going on? Pulling away from the broach or the bushing on the bottom considerably. Wonder what I'm doing wrong there. The broach is doing like that, which it would make sense that it would have a tendency to do that, but how do you avoid that? I'm sure that's what broke the last broach I was dealing with. Okay, I got it. To be honest with you, that's the first keyway I've ever broached. So if some of your viewers have some insight as to why that was, it's a messy looking keyway too. It's inconsistent depth. Anybody has any suggestions on how to do that, let me know. I want this key to fit a little bit loose in there, which is perfect. Okay, what I'm doing here is making a captive key. So that the key will slide with the, looks like I made it a little too deep. I was thinking I'd tack weld it. Oh, cool. That'll work. Oh yeah, that's going to work good. I like it. I don't even think I need to weld that. I was going to weld the key in there, but I'm not going to. what I wanted to do here is make the threads match. So when this threaded into the other side, it didn't lock up. I think I accomplished that, and we'll find out here. Oh yeah! That tap was just barely long enough to make that happen. That's good. Perfect. So I got to make a couple of brackets that come out here and hold this screw, and I'll have a hand wheel on the end of this. And this is what holds the yoke that will move this wheel back and forth this way. And by having two threaded sections separated like that, I can have the fork extended out without causing those threads to bind. Yeah, I gotta press that into the slots there. That'll index it, and then I'll weld it. And there'll be two cam followers in there. That'll be my yoke to move the wheel. Okay, I got these bushings I'm going to press in, and this shaft will be turned down to 1/2 inch, kind of like it is right there. And these will bolt on or weld on, I guess. Probably bolt on right there. And that will operate the fork that moves this puck, the friction drive. But I'm waiting on cam followers. I've got some little cam followers, but I thought they were a little undersized, so I ordered some slightly bigger, and they will screw onto that. And that will go on that threaded rod. Anyway, when the cam followers get here, we'll continue. Well, I got to take this thing apart so I can accurately drill the holes for this bracket right here. Okay, now I got to knock this sleeve off of there and turn this down to 1/2 inch to go through these bushings. Turn the threads off it. Good, it fits. This came out of a factory. I don't know what it was used on, some kind of binding equipment, I think. Okay, the cam followers I'm going to put in there. Hopefully they'll fit. They're not here yet, but I think it's gonna work good. Well, I wish I had the cam followers here. We're going to try it like it is. Okay, I got a temporary connection on this motor. Hopefully it stays put. See what it does. Moving some air there. It's moving quite a bit faster. Well, we got some dressing up to do. Painting, put a knob on there, the cam followers. Okay, I've had a little bit of time to play with this thing. And I need to support this screw out here further, out here, because it tries to bind when I adjust the speed. And I'm also going to extend the handle out here. That way there's no danger of getting fingers caught in there. I think what I'm going to do is mill these ends off here, weld that on there, and then bolt a plate on out here. And what that'll do, it'll help center this yoke. In other words, this bar will rub the back of this. and help center that yoke on the drive wheel. So that's the next step. Remove these, mill them flat here, and support it out here. They sent me larger cam followers than I ordered, but that's okay. Probably a little bit better oversized like that. Made a 1/4 inch shim here. That will give something for those jack bolts to sit on instead of going into the casting. Well, I got it all put together. I'm going to put an extension on this so the hand wheel comes out to here. And but it's working good. And when I take it apart, I'll clean it up real good. Right there is about 4,000 RPM. And right there is about 400 RPM. A little bit noisy. I think that's probably just the nature of the beast. It up for this episode. Join me next week and I'll put a new handle on that and then start taking it apart and cleaning it up, see what we can make it look like. A little noisy, but I kind of like it. Interesting drive. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Be sure to subscribe and ring that bell.